Hi everyone, welcome to this love reading. I'm going to do things a bit differently than most of you are probably used to. So I've started sharing some of my videos on YouTube, and this is going to be the first love reading I post there. And I think this is going to be new for the majority, if not all of the people who end up stumbling across this video. I'm going to use Kipper. I'm going to use the Fin de Siècle deck. It's popular on YouTube and on Patreon, where I also post. But most people pull the cards and interpret them intuitively, which I actually enjoy those readings. But I learned to read Kipper using the Bavarian system. It's a German deck, right? And it was designed to answer very specific questions about people's day-to-day lives, right? Particularly love questions, right? And I find that the system, when I follow it, it gets me very, very direct and very specific answers, right? So the question I'm asking today is, what's the status of your connection? And the reading I'm going to pull is a bit of a cheat. So the way it works is that I'm not going to use the whole deck of 36 cards. I'm going to pull 9 cards out that represent important aspects of a relationship. And because of the way the Bavarian system is read, the placement of the cards in relation to each other are very important, right? That's very important. And so even with just that small number of cards, you can get a lot of different outcomes, right? So the cards I'm going to pull are main male, main female, official person, house, bad health, thoughts, despair, marriage, and lovers, okay? So with these 9 cards, I think I can kind of cut through some of the noise and get directly to the answer of the question, what is the status of your connection? Okay. So I'm one of those people who shuffles a lot. I find that I get better messages when I take a bit of time. I know it's annoying for some people. And I also like to shuffle on camera just for transparency, so you can see how I pull the cards, and I'm not just, making something up or coming up with some preconceived storyline. Okay. So let's get this message out. Cards are, the shuffle feels strange, even with so few cards. They're moving around more than they usually do. Right? And so the reason I take some time to shuffle is that I like the cards to be settled before I pull a reading. Okay, that feels better. Sometimes when I mention what's wrong, it starts to clear up. I'm not sure how that works, right? But okay, that feels better. That feels better. Okay. Okay, spoke too soon maybe. Okay. All right, that feels much better. All right, here we go. All right, let's get this reading out. Okay, so the first card out is going to be, it's a big one, bad health. So bad health in Kipper means kind of what it says, the idea that you're in some kind of rough patch, that something's going wrong. In relationship readings, it can also represent sex or sexual attraction, sexual thoughts. So we'll see if any of that energy comes through. It's important that it's going to be in the center of a 3x3 spread because it's a connector card. So the cards that appear on either side of this are going to be joined together in bad health. They'll explain what the rough patch is. So I think this will be useful for anyone watching who feels like things maybe aren't quite going the way you want them to with your connection. Okay, next card out. Main male, this is your person. So Kipper, as I said, is designed, I forget when, I think the Victorian era. So it's before modern gender roles, right? So it's designed for a male and a female couple. So if you're in a same-sex couple, what you'll see some people do sometimes is they'll pull another card out of the deck. Kipper has a bunch of character cards, and they'll use one of the other men. The reason I don't do that is that main male and main female are intended to be the co-stars of the story that's being told, right? That's what the card means. It literally means main character, right? There's nothing else attached to it other than main character. But more importantly, in Kipper, those character cards have a hierarchy. There's like seniority in them, right? So when you pull a different card, right, you're adding a hierarchy into the relationship. So if I were to use, say, mature man with main male, I'd be putting mature man kind of on that mentor or parental figure level. It's not an equal relationship, right? So if you're in a same-sex couple, this represents your person. I'm going to use main female to represent you, just because these readings tend to skew the viewers, I beg your pardon, tend to skew heavily female. But that to explain why people do it like this when they follow the Bavarian system, that's why. Some decks have multiple main character cards. This is not one of them, so apologies for that. All right, next card out. Just talking about you, that's you, main female. This is going to be interesting because you are on one side of bad health. So whatever is wrong, you're connected to it directly. All right, marriage is the next card out. It's also a connector card. And I don't often read it to mean literally marriage, although that can come through. It's the same idea of bad health, that whatever is on either side of the card, both of those things are brought together in some kind of agreement or commitment or union, right? It's a card of coming together in a way that's kind of binding, right? It's also in the middle of a row, I beg your pardon. So we're going to see what's connected into this marriage energy. Next card out. Ooh. Lovers. It means success in love. That's another name for the card in other decks. It's also called good outcome in love in some decks. So right here already we can see that you and good outcome in love are joined together in bad health. So there is something wrong, and let's see if we can get to the bottom of what that is. Next card out is house. For most of you, this just means whatever place you and your person kind of consider quote unquote home, even if you don't live together, right? It's an energy of stability and safety and not necessarily comfort, but there's this conservative energy, this idea of things staying the same, of things being safe, quote unquote, right? It shows up with house. All right, what's next? Despair, a difficult card. We'll see, right? We'll see what that means. Okay. Next card out is official person. This person this card is used to represent a third party in this specific reading. It has other meanings in Kipper, but here it's just used kind of as a neutral card to say there's probably some other person who might have some influence. If they do, we use this energy and how it falls in the reading to determine the role they play, right? Okay. Final card is thoughts. This is your person's thoughts. Wow, main female, this is going to be a doozy for you. I should have led with the caveat that says that because of the way Kipper is designed, it's very direct. It's much more difficult to fudge and to sugarcoat and to put unicorns and fairies on top of. And just at first glance, this is going to be one of those readings that some people are going to want to be sugarcoated. That can't be, right? It can't be. So I guess this is your cue to either stay and hear what's difficult or to click off and go look for good news somewhere else. This is you, main female. And if the way Kipper is read, you choose a card that's a significator, right? In this case, it's you, main female, right? And the way the character cards are read is that what sits above you is what's in your thoughts, things that are kind of out of your control that you're planning. What sits below you are things that you can act on in the real world, things that you feel you control. What you control the most sits right below you, right? What sits behind you is your past, right? What sits in front of you is your future. Two other meanings for those positions. What's in front of you is also something that maybe you could see it as that you're even if you're not quite looking forward to it, it's something that you feel okay about, right? Okay or good about. It's not a challenge. What's behind your back is challenging. So the way they're described in the system is what's in front of you is your future and it's auspicious. It's like good, right? What's behind you is your past and it's inauspicious, right? So right here, you are in the far right column, right? So that means 2 columns are behind your back. So just right there, we can see that this situation that we're looking at, just from that basic placement, is very challenging to you, right? Everything's behind your back. So it's your past, but it's recent enough that I can treat it as like now, right? That's what I'm pulling on. So I'm seeing it more as the current challenges as opposed to something in the far past affecting you now, right? What's above you is this despair energy. This is your thoughts. Something is bothering you a great deal, right? Something's distressing you, right? And we're pulling on your connection, the status of it. So I'm getting from most of you that will be what this is about, right? Something is going wrong and it's worrying you a lot. What sits below you is this official person that we'll get back to down the line, right? So you feel like you have control over whoever this person is, but we'll get back to them. Your person is who you're here to hear about. They're above you, right? So they're on your thoughts. Reading is your past thoughts, but that's not really important, as I said. What is important is your position, right? You're facing away from each other in this spread. Your backs are to each other. You're inauspiciously placed to each other. That's another sign of difficulty. You're reading as challenges to each other that you're not seeing eye to eye. You're not directly back to back, so at least that's good. Because whatever's right behind your back reads as the biggest challenge to you, right? And for you, it's this bad health energy, right? Whatever is wrong in this situation, right? This energy of a rough patch, of something not going well, not going your way. It's the biggest challenge to you. And what's joined with that, as I mentioned earlier, is this lover's energy, the idea of a good outcome in love. It's in a rough patch, and it's a big challenge to you. So the something else to consider here is, as I said before, what sits right below a character is what they control, right? And your person is in charge right here, quote unquote in charge, right? They're kind of in control of this bad health energy, which I find a bit strange, right? I find that a bit strange. And something else that worries me is that this stability here, your person is facing right into it, this house, right? Your person is facing right into it, and they seem to be heading into this stability, right? You're kind of far away from that energy, and it's to your back as well, right? And it's up in your thoughts. It's not something that you seem to have any influence over. So whatever is reading, whatever comes through to you as that safety, that stability, you seem to be separated from it a bit, right? You seem to be separated from it a bit. This bottom row is very interesting, right? It's very, very interesting, and I'm not quite sure what to make of it yet, because as I said, in the middle here we have this marriage card. These two things that are joined, right, in this kind of tight, kind of binding energy. So one thing that's on one side, one thing that's joined in this energy is your person's thoughts, right? And they are married to another person, right? A third party. But this third party is coming out as someone that you believe, you feel you have control over because you're sitting right on top of them, right? So this is a bit of a strange reading. But I do get the sense that yes, there is serious difficulty here because of this bad health energy right in the middle. So when I do these readings, what I like to do is to clarify official person, right? Because that can give you some insight into what their role is, like why are they here, right? So and I think answering that question first will get us closer to unraveling some of the difficulties that are here and getting to the bottom of why this is all here. It's to do with this official person in some way. And I say this also because remember I said not what's above you is your thoughts, right? So you are in this person's thoughts. This person is connected to your person's thoughts. And this bad health energy is in this person's future thoughts based on the positions of the cards. So there's this like tangle. I don't know if it's a love triangle yet though. It's just this confusion of people being in a situation that is complicated. Yeah, that's the right word. That's the right word, right? That's the right word. Also, I forgot to mention when I was talking about main male, you kind of show up in the worst position. Sorry. The way this works is the card that's below one row and right behind it's called a problem card, right? What's the problem for this character? It's the card that's in this position and it's you. It's whatever. So if you try to do this at home, it's whatever's kind of like right below the character's butt for ease of reference, right? That's you. Right. So this is difficult. And I think this might be why a lot of people don't pull Kipper this way. I think some people aren't familiar with the system, but even if they are, I think I think people want to avoid making these kind of firm statements. It's difficult to hear, right? That you're coming across as a problem to your person, right? And that this bad health is connected back to this idea of success in love. But I think you know, I don't know if denial is going to help anybody solve these problems. If this resonates with you, if it doesn't apply to you, you know, it doesn't matter. But if this is resonating in any way, I would hope this reading, you know, helps you to think about what's happening and maybe how to deal with it, right? So I'm going to clarify this official person because they're just in this very strange position where they're connected to everything in a way that I just don't like. Like their role here is too prominent, right? The role here is too prominent. Yeah. They just connect back to everything in this kind of labyrinthine, like complicated way that I don't like. Yeah. I don't like. So one of the things is like this for this card in particular, the way it's being used in this reading, gender doesn't matter, right? This could be anybody. Right? All right. So tell me about this official person and why they're here. Right? Tell me about this official person and why they're here. Yeah. Tell me about this official person and why they're here. Tell me about this official person, please, and why they're here. Okay. 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 Bottom of the deck is Garden. I do not give Kipper and Lenormand the same weight to the bottom of the deck in those systems. I don't, as I do in tarot, but just out of habit, I always check the bottom of the deck. So I just thought I'd show that to you. Garden is a card of it's a social card. It's a card of social networking. It's a card of groups of people, right, and communication in those groups. It's a big social media card, right? So there's some element of this, maybe. Like I said, the bottom of the deck in Kipper and Lenormand can be hit or miss for me. So let's see what comes out on top and see if it's related. Why is this official person here? Yeah, this is third party energy for most of you, right? That's why it's so tangled, right? This is some kind of love. I don't know if it's a triangle. I don't know what this is. It's so entangled because you're showing up as feeling in control of this person, but they're connected into your person's thoughts by marriage. And this bad health energy that your person is in control of, that I say can mean sex, it's in this person's future thoughts, right? This is strange. This is strange. So let's see. What else is here? Yeah, whip. It's a card of conflict, right? It's a card of conflict, and maybe that's why you feel like this person, you have control over this person. This person is conflicted about the way they feel, right? So I do think that this person is having sexual thoughts, right? And your person is connected to all of that, right? But they're conflicted about it. I don't get, for some of you, I don't know if they've acted on this, right? But you know this person, I think. And maybe you're closer to them than your person because you're closer together in the reading, right? And they're conflicted about the way they feel, right? What's here? Wow. So whatever this is, it's been going on for a while. The Liz is a card of maturity, right? A card of long-term commitments, right? So these conflicted feelings of love, I think, are very stable, even if this person has not acted on them, right? These conflicted feelings of love and affection that seem to be tied back to this kind of sexual energy that's a challenge to you, right? And that your person feels in control of, right? It's here and this person's conflicted about it, right? Remember that this person is connected back to your person's thoughts by marriage, right? The person is thinking in some way, right, about connecting with this person in a serious way, right? If these two cards were switched, bad health was down here and marriage was here, it would be better for you, right? Because yeah, it's a challenge, but your person is kind of still connected. But it's more like that energy of kind of maybe infidelity or something that's lurking here. It's a direct challenge to you, and this idea of coming together. Remember I said that problem card? Where's the problem for you, right? Where's the problem for you? It's marriage, right? That's the problem for you. So I was hoping for a more pleasant reading. But for those of you that you know who are resonating with this, given the way these cards have shown up, I wouldn't put too much hope in things turning around. And here's why. There are cards in Kipper called stop cards, right? And the way they function is that when you have like a line in a spread, a line of cards, the stop card functions as like a period or a full stop, and it marks kind of an ending of part of the story, right? So your person is facing towards house, right? Very stable energy, which I believe is a stop card. Don't quote me on that. But I know lovers and thoughts are definitely, right? And whenever I see a cluster or a group of stop cards together, it gives me the sense of that, like a kind of a firmish point in the story that's not going to be easily moved, right? It's like you have to start another line. Like this is happening, right? Your person is walking into this house with this energy, with this kind of stop energy there, right? And they're walking away from you. You're facing in different directions, right? This official person is facing in the same direction as your person. They're facing marriage and your person's thoughts, right? So even if this is someone that you know and you believe you can dissuade from getting involved with your person, I think this bad health energy where it shows up, it says that, I think it's saying that the choice really is your person's. They're the one who's in control of whether this quote unquote affair will take place, this infidelity will happen, right? And I think things are leaning towards that being possible. But because of this marriage card, this isn't some dalliance on your person's part where they think this person is just is hot, or it's just lust. The marriage card being where it is right in between what's in your person's mind and their thoughts, and this official person is saying that your person has strong feelings for this person. I'm not sure why you think you have control over this then. So let me ask that question on the side here, right? So why is main female sitting right on top of official person, right? What's this control energy that's here, right? Why is main female here? Yeah, Scythe fellow, I'm not going to take it. Because like I said, I like to have the deck settled before I pull the cards. I get clearer messages. But this is a card of warning, and it's a card of endings as well. Swift endings. So, take that message as you think it applies to you, right? Yeah, I'm very sorry. This is yeah, this is not the way I think I should introduce myself to YouTube. I think this is going to go very badly for me. This is not what people want to hear. Okay. Okay. So this control energy. So tell me about main female's position here. Like why is this energy of control here over official person? I think I understand. I think there is some distance between you and between your person and this official person. I think that's why they're only in their thoughts, right? There is some distance between them. Yeah, I think there might be actual physical distance between them. So that idea of them coming together, it's just in their thoughts right now, right? Your person can't really take action on it yet, like, or even if they can, there's something in the way of that. I think that's about physical distance. Maybe they don't. Whoever this official person is, maybe doesn't live in your city. I don't know, your state, your country, I don't know, right? Okay, so why is this energy of control here? This idea of the main female sitting right on top of a official person. Like, why is this here? I'm confused by that. Given the way everything is laid out. It's the one part of the reading that doesn't make sense to me. So what's going on here? What's going on here? Okay. What is going on here? Help me to understand this, please. Please help me to understand this. Okay. 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 Crossroads. Yeah, there's an energy of a choice here of some kind, maybe. So what's this connection between this main female and official person? Like, give me more information about that. Why is this here? Yeah, I don't understand this. So I think I was right. Right, ship is a card of journeys, but I see it as representing a big distance here. Right, I see it as representing a big distance. I think that's what's giving this main female some comfort. That it's hard for this main male to get to whoever this official person is. So what's coming through here is that depending on how this is resonating for you, I think some of you watching might be this official person, or maybe in this main male's position, right? Where there's someone at a distance that you want to be with, right? And maybe you're the one who's in a relationship that's not working, or maybe, yeah. This is a very strange reading, because I'm usually a stickler about who the significator is, right? This reading is about main female, right? But like I said, everything here is so tangled, right? That I think whoever ends up stumbling on this video, your role in it might not, yeah. This situation is shifting. That's what this ship means as well. And I don't think this main female has gotten that. So this distance is here that she feels is keeping her safe. But ship is a card of movement. Like the situation is changing, right? The situation is changing. What else is here? Interesting messages from a distance, right? Messages from a distance. Messages from a distance have something to do with this. See what else is here. Here's that house energy again. Here's the house energy again. This idea of stability, right? So I think it's important that birds and ship are here on the other side of house. Because remember I said house is that energy of stability, and your person is heading towards it, right? Yeah, I see these messages as leaving the house, going a long distance, and setting off a journey, right? Whenever I see cards of movement with house, I read it as the house being destabilized in some way. Doesn't have to be bad, right? Doesn't have to be bad, but I see it as that conservative energy shifting, right? That something changes. Right, so I think this distance that this main female feels is protecting her is for now, let me say that. But this communication is leaving this house that's here with main male, with your person, and it's heading out towards this official person. So if you are resonating as main female, this is not looking good for you. It's not looking good for you at all, right? If for whatever reason this is describing maybe a couple that you're on the outside of, you might be official person. You're the third party. I think the reason this message is so strange is that. Remember I talked about co-stars in the beginning? And I said main male and main female are co-stars? Yeah, official person has like an equal role. These people all have equal billing in the story. I've never seen this happen before. And it's to do with this marriage energy, right? It's kind of elevating official person above main female in the story, or two main females level in the story. Right? So I think for some of you, you might resonate that way. You might be this official person, right? That's why this is so weird. I was like, how are all these things connected, and what? That's why, right? That's why. I have never seen this happen before, where like another co-star emerges. I've seen people like who are cheating and are gonna leave, right? And that's come through clearly. But I've never read it this way, where it's like the situation is in flux, and while it's in flux, everyone has equal billing in the story, right? But what I will say is, in terms of his emotions and his mind and what he wants to do, this main male his position seems to be fixed. You know, his position does seem to be fixed. He wants to be with this official person, this third party. He wants to be with this third party. So if you are the third party, make sure your phone is on, because there's going to be communication, right? There's going to be communication of some kind. But for now, it's showing up. You know, let me clarify main male's thoughts. This is main male's thoughts, the thoughts card. So let me clarify this, right? Before I say anything, right? Get a clearer sense of what's being joined in marriage to the official person, right? Get a clearer idea. Yeah, the main male is heading towards success in love, right? And stability here with house, right? And it's the same column as his thoughts, right? It's his future, right? It's what he wants to step into. Okay. And main female, if you're resonating as main female, you seem to be leaving the spread, right? Like you're not even facing bad health, to try to address it and head towards success in love, right? Yeah, yeah, this is not the introduction I wanted to YouTube. I wanted like a happy reading, but I don't know, we'll see. Okay, so get some clarity on why this thoughts energy is here, right? Get some clarity on why this thoughts energy is here. So I've been having a lot of luck in my readings, like pulling Kipper as the base and Lenormand as the clarifier. They're both very direct and good at getting to the bottom of things. And Lenormand in particular gets to difficult issues. So as soon as I saw that things here were tough, I was like, yeah, clarify with Lenormand. That's the way to go. It will get right to the bottom of things, right? Yeah, so your person's thoughts are actually, this might be the most important card, right? Because this is not a card of action. And again, like this reading is kind of, it didn't use the whole deck, so not every possibility could come out, but there really isn't a clear card of action here for your person to take, at least not yet. We'll see what comes out with the clarifiers. But their thoughts are on this marriage with this person, right? Yeah. They want to be intimate with this person. I'm sorry. If you're coming through as main female, this is a very painful reading, I'm sure. And I think you know it. So as soon as I pulled this reading and I said, despair is right above you. If you stayed to watch, I think you know all this, right? And this is just confirmation, right? You know all this. Right? What title am I going to give this? Dear God in heaven. Okay. Okay. Ooh, this is why we clarify, right? I'm clarifying main male's thoughts, and Fox is here. It's a card of cunning. It's a card of deception sometimes. It can also just be a card of self-interest though, right? So don't run away with it saying, this person is a horrible person or anything like that. It's just saying somebody, it's an energy of somebody doing, when you say, I'm going to do me, yeah, that's big time Fox energy. Yeah, big time Fox energy. Wise thoughts here. Well, there's an ending here with Coffin. So this is interesting. Because the way I read Coffin is I don't fudge it. I don't say it's transformation. I don't say it's transition. I don't say it's death and rebirth. It's an ending, right? A clear ending that marks, there's a delineation there, a clear line of separation. Something ends. Wow. Oh, I almost don't want to pull what's next. Okay, what's next? Yeah, that choice, this energy of there being a decision point is what ends. Somebody makes their mind up. What? Okay, let me see if I can get a bit more information. Not too much. Like tree is, the way most people read tree is that it's growth and, positivity and, abundance and things like that. The way I learned it, and it has never failed me, is that it's a sign to look at the health of everything around it, right? So we're clarifying your person's thoughts. And so tree is a bit weird here. Tree with crossroads is, I guess maybe you could say they have a choice about their well-being, right? Their mental well-being, right? They have a choice about their mental well-being, right? So I don't read tree to be necessarily like a positive card. Whenever it shows up, it reminds me of this bad health energy. Whenever it shows up, I'm like, let me look and see if this is a good situation, right? This isn't, right? So tree is coming off to me very much as bad health. So this choice about this bad health, remember I said your person is the one who's going to decide if this sexual relationship is consummated, if this rough patch is becomes maybe kind of permanent for you. Not permanent, but like if they go down that path, right? This is all this is saying for sure, is that they make a choice here with ending. This decision point energy ends, right? I don't know what they do. I just know that this energy of bad, it's to do with this bad health. Yeah, there's no bad health card in Lenormand. So I'm seeing this, I'm reading tree as a way of telling me that it's about this bad health, right? If that makes sense. So this decision is being made, right? It's saying that this energy of choice ends in the sense that somebody decides, right? And it's about this bad health. I don't know. The way the cards are laid out, it's not looking good for you. If you resonate as main female, it's looking much, much better for you if you're resonating as the third party. If you are this official person, right? Because also you are where the heart is, right? Heart isn't as simple as love in Lenormand. It's about affection. But here I am, because it's next to this marriage energy, I am getting the sense that there is this is love that's been difficult and someone's conflicted about it, and it's been going on for a long time, and this person has been on the outside of it because of this long-term commitment. This lily also represents, I think, for most of you, the relationship between main male and main female. I don't think this is some short-term thing. And that's why I think this reading is coming through as so difficult for me. Like, I just kind of don't want to say anything because I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, right? We've been in this lilies for a long time, and the person you thought you're going to have this marriage energy with is like moving on to somebody else who doesn't even live where you live, who's far away, right? For most of you, that's the way it's coming through, right? Who's at a distance. Yeah, this is, yeah. If you're resonating as main female, I think like prepare to, I'd say at least brace yourself to receive some not so great news. Yeah, I'd say brace yourself to receive some not so good news. If you're an official person, I think you're in a much better place. I think you're in a much better place. This marriage energy is working out well for you. But as I've said, this is all up to main male. He's the one who gets to decide. This choice energy showed up in his thoughts, right? He's the one who's going to decide what happens. So I don't know. And I would caution anyone who's coming through as main female, if that's who you feel your role is, I would caution you against trying to stop this. And here's why. It's just the position of this bad health energy. It's just going to reinforce it in terms of that rough patch between you. Like it's separating you from you see the way you're facing away from good outcome in love. It's just going to increase all that that distance, that difficulty, that energy of something just being in this really rough place, right? So I think for some of you, this despair energy is warranted if this is a person you want to stay with. Who you thought you were going to move forward with. I think this despair energy it's warranted, but I'd caution against wallowing in it and letting it kind of take over your thoughts too much, right? The good news about this is that you're walking in, you're facing this open space. There's nothing here. There's room for you to determine what happens next, right? There's room for you to determine what happens next. Yeah. So that's Kipper for you, man. That's Kipper. That's the level of specificity you can get, right? This is the level of specificity you can get if you learn the system and pay attention to the way the cards are placed in, if you pay attention to the relative positions, you can get a lot of detail. So depending on who you are, this is amazing news or horrible news. And as I said before, this has never happened before, where I get the sense of 3 co-stars, like people who are equally billed. I've pulled before where main male is leaving main female. I've never seen it like this, where it's clear in the reading that that the co-star label is not what it appears. And maybe that's why it's coming out this way. It's that the idea of being co-stars is, for want of a better word, like the main characters in this storyline, it's very important, I think, to the people who are coming through as main female. Like, this relationship is an important part of your life, how you relate to people, how you move through the world, right? And this shift in character, that you're not going to be main female, you're not going to be the main character anymore. I think it's important enough that it's being highlighted. Because I said, I've never seen this before, where I'm like, oh, this is equal billing, right? And I think that's a big part of the bad health, right? Nobody likes being rejected, but I think it's the loss of some kind of influence, maybe the loss of some kind of some social capital, maybe, is being highlighted here. And so I think that's why I'm here to do this reading. It's to say that this despair energy, like it might be focused on some of the wrong things, right? It's okay to be upset. It's okay to even be maybe resentful, right? It's okay to maybe even feel a little bit embarrassed, right? Because nobody likes not being chosen or somebody being picked over you, right? It's not a good feeling. It's just not a good feeling. But I get the impression that there is this role maybe you're used to playing that you don't quite know how to let go of. Like, your attachment to whoever this main male is it might be too big a part of your identity, right? And that's why this equal billing question is so important. It's like the idea that someone else is going to take over that role is very, very, very difficult for some of you. And I can understand why. This is a long-term commitment that we're talking about, right? And I think these feelings between this main male and this official person have been going on for a long time as well. Because this Lily's card came out with them, right? So especially if you're married to this main male, and the idea that he's gonna leave you and make someone else's wife, it's very, very, very angering. Like, I'd be pissed, right? And so I think the warning here is, I'm not like, don't listen to people who say, you can kind of walk this thing off, right? Or that it's not a big deal. Or that it's, all the his loss and all the nonsense positivity people say, like kind of toxic positivity. I'm not into that. I'm just saying that, think about how to create a life going forward for yourself that's more about you and focused on you, right? I think being so focused on this person was not, and I understand why. Everyone's been there, where you love someone and you want the best for them and you do everything you can to help them, almost sometimes to your own detriment, right? I think there's some element of this here that's in this despair energy, right? So I think the lesson here is just to focus on yourself. Focus on yourself. It's easier said than done. There, like I said, this whole situation is just right here in the reading just came across as so tangled to me, right? There are going to be a lot of threads to cut, right? So you can move on. Yeah, this the way you're sitting on top of this official person, like in this position of trying to control the situation, I think that's going to hold you back and keep you stuck, right? This distance is going to get closed. One way or the other, this is going to break in some way, right? this distance between these people is going to get closed. Their message is leaving the house to head onto a ship, to head towards somebody, right? And here's the thing to consider. Even with this distance, because this is telling me that there's maybe lack of communication, lack of direct communication, lack of physical contact. Even without that, it's completely destabilizing your relationship. Like that's a sign. Right? That's a sign that something here isn't right, right? And maybe to look for a situation where you can get what you really deserve, where someone can give you the stability, right? They can give you the stability you want with the house, right? This house energy up here, this man is he's heading towards it without you, right? It's overly harsh to say it that directly, but that's what's here in the cards. Right? So you're going to have to find a way to move forward. And if you're coming through as the third party, it's one of the rare times where the side chick seems to win, right? Like, yeah, this marriage energy is clear. Like, this person has chosen you, right? This person has chosen you. And you're conflicted, right? You're conflicted. That's why Whips is here, but I would say there does seem to be genuine affection and love and something between you and this person, but maybe be a bit cautious, because what's coming through here is it's like there seems to be some kind of physical pull, like a very strong maybe sexual attraction. Like, be careful that that's not clouding your judgment, right? And also, I know that you see this main female as your rival, but pay attention to how this main male is treating her, right? Pay attention to how this main male treats her, and consider whether or not in the long term, if you're going to be an exception to some of those behaviors, right? Because the only person who's coming out clearly as being in control and kind of winning here is this main male, right? It's the nature of the relationship between him and main female isn't clear, just that it's in a rough patch. But I can't pick up on the way they kind of feel about each other, right? So just pay attention to that if you can, and to how he treats her. I think you have some inkling of that, right? How he handles this situation, right? This is going to be hard for this main female. I'm not saying to give up your happiness for somebody else, but just pay attention and don't have rose-colored glasses on about the person you're moving forward with, all right? There's an energy of warning here in this reading that came out when that scythe flipped over. It was mainly attached to main female, but I think it's for actually everyone here to just be careful, right? Just be careful to get all the information and to know what you're getting into and out of and everything else, right? To move at a reasonable pace, right? Don't rush into anything, right? So that's the reading. Sorry if you're main female. Congrats if you're official person. Main male, not sure how I feel about you quite yet, but we'll see. That's the reading. Thanks for watching.